All right. Yeah, I think I would like to know what their long-term goal is for it because it just feels like at this rate, like you're gonna just run. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's gonna run ragged real soon. Uh,
People are already like creating their own little side
yeah,
ones,
yeah,
confusing people about like what the official ones are and all of that
yeah.
stuff too. So like 112 and Jagged Edge were trying to do one on Friday, and I don't think they wound up doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, you're not on the grand stage, so like, what's the point of doing it?
Yeah. And they should. That's they should do a battle.
But not everybody need to go to 20, man.
Yeah. I was about to say that too. Like they should do a little 10 song battle. Um, because if you have like the more you'll be a little bit more interactive too. If you got a whole, if everybody's there, the whole group's there at least. Um, I know y'all could tell those stories in between or whatever, but like there's ways to make it interesting. But everybody don't need like 20. First of all, 20 is a lot.
20
20 is
is a
a
lot.
lot of music.
20 is a lot if you don't have 20.
Yeah, we talking about hits. Everybody got 20 songs, but we trying to go hit for hit,
That's what I'm
song for
saying.
song, verse for verse. Like you just not going. It's too much.
20 is a lot if you don't have 20 songs.
Yeah, and
Like 20 hits.
yeah,
Like that Erica Badu, Jill Scott thing. I'll never watch that again.
yeah. A lot of that music in the middle was B side stuff.
It
They
was.
they came out swinging. I think they, and the funny thing is like they swung heavy for like the first three, four, maybe five
No.
songs, and then like for the last five, no, last four is when they were going here like hit for hit, and I'm like, all that stuff in the middle was it's just filler. Uh,
Hogwash.
um, and granted, your fans, they have a very deep contingency of a fan base, so they're gonna stay there for everything. Um,
Yeah.
but it's yeah, it is what it is.
I
And I think
didn't enjoy it.
they needed that, not needed, but they. I always think it's good for that type of celebration to happen and togetherness to happen, but because it was framed under the umbrella of the versus brand, um, if you went into it looking for that feeling, you just did not get it.
At all.
Um, so I could definitely see people being a little disappointed with that for sure.
Yeah.
Um, so, and maybe they'll change the rules eventually. Maybe they'll branch off and just they'll be like, "Hey, look, man, like y'all just do 10 songs, 10 songs, and we need two industry stories from y'all that are actually good stories. I don't know, something, you
I
know."
mean, enjoy these stories. Upon further review, Erica Badu did not make. She did not write a long walk.
Oh, she didn't.
No, she was being sarcastic, saying like
Oh,
she wishes that she wrote it.
that makes sense.
Makes sense, but no, she
I
did not write it.
I wish I wrote it too. Um, it would be nice. Um, we got any more upon for the reviews? Say anything that's outrageous last week?
Yeah, forget. It was one thing. I just don't remember it right now off the top.
Yeah. All right. Well, we here. Uh, my name is Line. Keith is here with us.
How you
Vic-
doing?
Victoria might chime in. What am I doing? Lord Jesus. Victoria might chime in at some point. She busy bee with it as usual. Um, but yeah, hope y'all doing good out there. Uh, hope y'all made it through another week. Safe, sound. Just, just keeping your spirits lifted as usual.
Trying
Um,
to.
yeah, man. It's yeah, it's been quite God is good. God is good. I think
Absolutely.
That's one thing I keep leaning on, man. God is absolute, like he is good. He is merciful. Um, he is also gracious in the midst of being merciful as well.
Yes,
Um, to realize one and not realize the other, like you're missing a whole, you're missing the weight, man, the weight of God's goodness. So merciful, man. If not for that, we would have been consumed. Um, and even in the midst of deserving the said consumption, He's gracious to give us more than we deserve. So, um, yeah,
absolutely.
lean on that, man. God is good. God is good, man. But yeah, man, doing all right. Um, in the midst of everything. Uh, and just hoping for the best. For the for the world. I don't know how to uh because back today, according to the president of the United States of America, vaccine or no vaccine, we open for business, baby. If y'all missed it, I don't know what day it was. Just to give a full, just to give a full view of this, right? Prior to the COVID-19 outbreak, the White House had stopped doing press briefings. Typically, most administrations would have them every day, every other day. The press would be there, communicate with the press secretary on certain issues or different members of the cabinet on certain issues, ask them questions. It's the press. It's freedom of the press is a part of their job. Um, at some point, I think last year, the Trump administration stopped them. And like, we not y'all asking too many questions, and we not trying to answer y'all. So we just not gonna have them anymore. And they stopped them, started them again. Um, I think a little bit at the beginning of the coronavirus outbreak, when the first set of people that had it were in Washington State, and obviously they've continued just because of the nature of what's going on, and they've not been handled well, for lack of a better term and or sentiment. Um, man, Donald is he's a child. Um,
Absolutely.
he is a. I don't know if it's. I'll say this. I don't know if it's so much childishness as it is. Don't question me, and I think that comes more with like authority issues and ego issues and stuff like that. But like some of the rebuttals that he's had. He's also, I mean, one of the other crazy ones last week was when the Asian American journalist was asking him a question about why is it so important for him to something about numbers and Asia, and he was like, I don't know, why don't you ask China? Um, and I'm gonna make a reasonable assumption that he knows she was Asian American, even though she had a mask on, because he's probably had questions from her before in the past. Like he
Uh,
knows, like that's Elizabeth or whatever her name is.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they got their favorite reporters and ones that they don't like so much. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if it feels careless and dangerous to say that vaccine or no vaccine. Um, Whether or not you believe in vaccination, that's a whole other conversation. But
It
just the
is.
idea of the message it sends is basically, hey, we don't care if you live or you die. We need to get back to getting this money. Um, and don't get me
Right.
wrong, like I understand people like needing to get back to like that is that is real. That is very real.
Yeah.
Um, but there are just better ways to communicate it and to be caring in your communication of it. Like I don't know. I don't know. It's like you're looking for this like human, like you're looking for empathy, I guess, and some sort of understanding to be communicated, and it's just I don't know. It's like, have you ever not had to like do this at any point in your life, even if like you weren't president, just to say, man, I
What, care
understand.
for people?
Yes.
It's Donald J. Trump.
Man,
He's never had to care for
you
people.
had to. Hmm. You got kids though. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know.
He doesn't talk about his kids like they're his kids.
He talks about them like they're business associates,
Yeah.
and they are.
And business associates and investments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's a different man. He's cut from a different cloth due to, his economic status,
Mm.
largely in part due
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah. I don't know. But and he is. I forget that he is.
A
He's set.
billionaire.
He's got money. Too much. Way too much money. And he's
Yeah.
78, 77,
I
78.
don't know. I don't keep track.
It's
I'll
just like,
find
oh.
out.
I know what you about to
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it. It's fine.
say. Oh my gosh. Um. Uh. Speaking of rich white people, um. So they're projecting that Jeff Bezos, the CEO, founder, co-founder of Amazon, um, they're saying he's probably going to be a trillionaire by the year 2026, and essentially the coronavirus is accelerating that because of people's reliance so much now on ordering things online. Um, and this is on top of him having to. I think he paid um, his ex-wife. They got divorced. I think he had to pay her like 100 something or 60 something, 70 something billion dollars in the settlement.
Yeah.
Um, and it presumably was like, it didn't. I mean, he's like, I'm okay. And
Yeah.
now this, and within a couple of years, I think he probably would be the first trillionaire. I don't think we've ever had like a sole person be worth that much money. I mean, modern day at least.
Yeah.
Um, and one is I was thinking about this, like, man, should somebody be and when I say allowed, I don't mean like we stop you from getting that kind of money, but like, is that not outrageous for someone to be a trillionaire and therefore like still be like poverty? I understand capitalism and how it works. Um, that's not really my gripe. It's just more so like, man, like what, like, can you just be a good, decent person and become that rich? Like, is that possible?
I think it's possible.
You think it's possible?
I think it's possible. I don't think it's likely.
Because he was supposed to, I think, one of the oversight committees in either the Senate or the House, or the Congress Oversight Committee or something,
Yeah.
I think asked him to come testify about whether or not he misled the government in about Amazon's business practices or not. Um, and I think late last week he declined and was like, "Nah, I'm not coming." Um, AKA, I'm not about to get me hemmed up.
Hey,
I'm not finna come up there under oath. I don't have we not finna do this
We ain't doing that.
because they're well, most what Amazon essentially doesn't pay any taxes.
Right.
They get a large amount of tax breaks for employing people.
Yep.
They get a large amount of tax breaks for investing in communities and infrastructure and all this stuff. Like there was this big bidding war to open one of their new distribution centers, and like it was like uh, New York, I think maybe in like North Carolina. I know Atlanta was definitely involved because the city of Stonecrest was offering to rename Stonecrest to Amazon, like uh in like as a pitch to get them to come there, which they still are building a distribution spot in Stone Mountain. I drove past it a couple times and it's like 12,000 square feet or something like that. Something ridiculous. It's huge.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like they get all these tax breaks. Um, like like their profits are ridiculous. Um, and it was like, all right, you bro, you don't pay any taxes. We need you to come up here and talk about it and about what you told us or what y'all have been reporting to us in order for us to give you these tax breaks. Um, and he was like, "No, nah, I'm good." Um, so
I'm with it. I understand.
it's hard when you're not like then you start thinking about it from a business perspective, and it's just like, nah, bro, I'm good. Like,
I never understood those. Like, am I under arrest? Have I committed a crime? And or any of those things. Like I never understood that. Like why do I have to sit before you guys and answer you guys' questions? Unless you're about to charge me with something,
yeah,
I don't have anything to say to y'all.
they I think a lot of times with those like they want answers so they can either change the way they're treating you or change the actual situation. So they might be calling them up there to say, "Hey, we're the oversight committee. Like these things happen. Like we're not in charge of these things happening, but they
Yeah,
happen,
yeah.
and we want to look into them to make sure that
They don't keep happening.
they don't keep happening. Or if
Or
they
understand why they're happening.
yeah, and be like, all right, you were given these privileges. We want to make sure you're not abusing them."
Fine.
Um,
Charge me with something.
so um, yeah, you can definitely because if they like this whole stuff with the election 2016 election in Russia and all that, and they were asking people to come testify and all that, and they were like the White House is blocking them from going up there to testify, and they can't do anything about it. Dr. Fauci was supposed to testify over, um, I think, before the House Oversight Committee. The House is, the Democrats have the House right now. He was supposed to do that. Well, they requested it, and the White House blocked it and said no, he's not coming.
Huh.
Um, so I don't know. It's yeah, I've always thought that was weird. Um,
Yeah, I never understood it. Like, and they're like, I demand you to answer these questions. And it's like, nah, I'm not going to answer these questions.
yeah, because I got questions too.
Yeah. Um, uh, everyone was mad. Everyone was mad at uh, Jeff Bezos for not having to pay taxes or Amazon
Yeah,
not having to pay taxes. And they just thought like, I'm like, y'all don't understand about companies and tax write-offs.
yeah,
And I'm like, the little that I know about businesses, it benefits you to have a nonprofit
yeah.
business to go with it.
Hmm.
When we were starting Fresh Air Media or Fresh Air Life at the time, it was like, all right, cool. In addition to making this LLC, create a 401 C3, I think it is. I think it's 401c3.
501c3.
501c3
Um, yeah.
to which is a nonprofit. You know, you're filing as a nonprofit so that your taxes can be lower and or diminished. It's like, look, all of our proceeds aren't going to ourselves; they're going back out
Hmm.
into the community. We
Hmm.
don't keep them, so that's a tax write-off. And who knows? He might have people on his team, and I'm sure he does
Hmm.
find ways for us not to have to pay these taxes.
Yeah. It's just
And
like
so
go
it
ahead.
might be from a selfish standpoint, but but like even as selfish as you're being, right? Exactly. It
It's
benefits.
legal.
It's legal and it benefits other people.
Hmm. Um,
If it's truly a nonprofit, it's benefiting other people.
and they were most companies that are incorporated. They all like you said. They always tell you to set up a nonprofit arm.
Uh-huh.
It just helps. Hey, look, man, it's legal. I know.
And it's
Warren,
also a way to, you know what I mean, if you're doing dirt, you know what I mean, it's a way to kind of like not
we're
use
not condoning the dirt doing.
at all. But like, you know what I mean, if you're a shiesty company or what have you, it's a way to kind of like launder certain things.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
Um,
So,
I know. That's why most companies that are investment heavy, like they don't necessarily. They always try to reinvest. So like their profits, they call it capital gains, because capital gains taxes are high. So
right.
it's like they would never really show that they're necessarily making money after they get all their expenses out. They will reinvest that the capital gains back into the company or back into the shares or buy
Uh-huh.
back shares and stuff, so they don't have to pay taxes on it. I know Warren Buffett, one of the richest people in the world, like he pays himself like $1 a year or something like that, or something way under the taxable bracket, so he doesn't have to pay taxes because all his money is in stocks. And if he needs cash for anything, he can go to most banks in the world and get a loan, and it will be a zero interest loan, and you don't pay taxes on loans. He'll
Uh-huh.
get a zero interest loan, and because he's Warren Buffett, like
Right.
like Berkshire had, like I just
He
have
is
money.
a bank,
He is a bank,
essentially.
so he borrowed that money, and they won't bother him about it because he's
Warren
if they
Buffett.
really need to go get it, like he's good for it.
Right.
So there are people that have gotten to that level where it's like, I no, like this system, like it's not even about beating this. Like I am the system.
Exactly.
Like what are you gonna tell
Exactly.
me?
And that was one of my points that I was going to make about the whole he doesn't pay taxes thing. I'm like, y'all mad at the wrong person.
Hmm.
You mad at you mad at a company when you should be mad at how the system is set up.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you're to be mad at all, you know.
Hmm. And
I guess the easy thing, sorry, I guess the
you good.
easy thing to tell people is that um well start your own business. You know what I mean? But like, fam, not everybody's capable of starting their own business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, you know what I mean, not to take the subject a different route, but
No.
I think that's a lot of black people's thing. It's like, you need to start a business, you need to start an LLC, you need to start a DBA or whatever it is.
Hmm.
And it's like, we all don't have the wherewithal to do that. And it's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Um, but even then, right? Speaking of Amazon, I almost hit you up about like, yo, let's get $10,000 together
Yeah.
and start this Amazon company
Yeah.
because they're paying people to start up smaller businesses for Amazon and
Hmm.
start delivery companies. And you have to have $10,000 to do.
I talked to somebody about that. I forgot
Did
who
you
it
really?
was. Um, because he was trying to do it. Um, and like it was something about the back end process was like super rigid, and you needed to have definitely the money to invest, but they wanted some other stuff. Which I mean, if you're gonna represent the brand, of course I understand. Like
What other stuff did they want?
I don't know, I forgot what he was saying. I think it's like account history information and stuff like that. Just
Oh, I'm a rat.
yeah, that's all that. Yeah.
But if you went in with 3 people as opposed to 1,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's
yeah.
$3,500 per person. Wait,
Mm-hmm.
that's $3,300
Yeah.
per person,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all Gucci.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all should be.
Yeah. People are I think they're the program itself is a decent program. I think
Yeah,
it's
they.
almost similar to what Chick-fil-A kind of does, where
Except you
they,
have to have way more money than that.
yeah, Chick-fil-A don't play about that credit, bro.
And if you talk about rigid, if Amazon is rigid, Chick-fil-A is even more rigid.
Yeah.
You can't even be divorced.
Wait, you can't be divorced?
It's stuff like that. I don't know if it's exactly that, but it's stuff
I
like
don't know.
that.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's like, oh, so you show, so this says that you're not committed. So they,
Oh,
that's
it's funny because it
it's stuff
sounds
like
true.
it's stuff like that.
Yeah, you're not committed.
Like, oh, so you walk out on your commitments, huh? Oh, okay, because you ain't walking out on this chicken.
um, you can't walk out on that chicken, boy. Uh, uh, I forgot
They be
about
like,
this.
what if you leave the stove on and then all the chicken just burns up because you can't stay committed. We not chancing it.
Who is at my front door?
Yo, I need a ring.
Bro, get a I got a Wise Cam. It's
What
much
is this
cheaper.
off-brand ring?
It's like $25. Um, it's just as good. It's just not like a. I got a doorbell though, but I don't got like a ring. Cause I was gonna get the ring camera, and I'm like, man, the Wise Cam, the monitoring is free. You don't gotta pay for it. And I'm just like, just
Oh, you
get
have
that.
to pay for the monitoring on the ring?
Mm-hmm. So I think it's like ain't nothing crazy. I think it's like $5 a month or something like that. Um,
Oh, well,
but I think
that's
they,
$5 I could keep though.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
if I see somebody at my door, I'm like, okay, let me call the police and stuff. I'll
yeah,
handle the rest.
yeah. So I think for that, they're just basically you basically paying for storage, basically. Yeah,
Storage.
yeah. So it'll. I think if you don't pay for the thing, it won't keep your footage past like 12 hours or like 3 days or something. I don't know. You're like your footage expires. So if something happens. So the way that those stuff works is like they give you a notice, like a 10 to 15-second notice when something actually happens and it cuts off. But if you want to see more of it, like I think you gotta pay for their cloud storage. With my cam, I just got an SD card in it and it keeps a 1 week. So I got a week of footage rotating like all the time. Um, so which is one of the reasons I got it because I was like, man, y'all busters, boy.
Right,
But I mean, hey, look, man, like you providing a service, you got to make your money.
right.
Another
I
Amazon
guess.
Amazon company. Um, it's funny because Ring, the people that started Ring went on Shark Tank with the Ring, and like years ago, and everybody they basically laughed them out the off the set and was like, anybody trying to get a camera on their doorbell, like just
I
nobody
vaguely remember this.
nobody offered them nothing. Um, Jeff and the gang saw him and told him to pull up,
Pull up.
and I think Ring is like they're $1 billion company right now. Um, yeah, so they basically just went on there for exposure, and it worked.
Right.
Yeah,
If
it's
y'all four ain't gonna buy it, somebody else will.
somebody, and that's usually what happens.
Yes.
Um, uh, on the topic of investigations, um, I just saw this and I forgot to put it in. So a couple of senators, when they had a closed door meeting about the coronavirus in February, and they were basically told like things might get bad, and they
Oh, in
came out of that.
February.
Yeah, in February, came out of that meeting, and I think it was like three or four of them sold a bunch of stock. Um,
Okay.
and people got wind of it, and now the FBI just served a warrant for one of them, raided their office, um, to investigate like that whole thing, because that would essentially mean it's basically insider trading. So when you get inside information
Yeah.
that nobody else, the public doesn't have, and
Yeah.
you make decisions based on that, it's
Yeah.
illegal.
Yes.
Um, it's hella even more illegal when you're in a government position.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm waiting to see how that unfolds. But it's an old rich white man, so they don't, not much ever happens to them.
No.
Um, but yeah, I'm just waiting to see what happens with that, because I thought it was interesting. I thought I more so interesting because they actually were kicking up about it and were trying to do something about it, as opposed to sweeping it under the rug. And for the
Yeah.
FBI to be involved at this point is like, oh, y'all really not having this.
Right.
Um, so I think that's one good thing. um, I'll come back to politics. Uh, man. So Takashi's been on a tear. Speaking of the FBI and the feds, um, how much longer you think he got?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like,
But to live? Is that what you
not no,
ask?
not to live. I'm like, how much longer are people gonna care? Because I actually don't think anything's gonna happen to him. I think he's just gonna
No, I don't.
I think he's gonna just fizzle out. Um,
I don't know. 2 million 2 million views or watches on Instagram live says otherwise.
yeah, especially when they were crashing at like 500,000
I
like
think the
weeks
more
before.
I think the black culture is is doing him a disservice. Or wait. Sorry. They're doing him a service by saying that essentially what the hip hop community, or I'm not even gonna say the hip hop community, but people that are in association with and in joint with uh people that aren't so lawful, they
Hey, I like
they
that.
they tend to like say, well, this is the code, this is the code, this
Yeah,
is the code. He's in constant breach of the code. He's not doing right with the code.
yeah,
It has made him taboo.
yeah, yeah.
People love
Absolutely.
taboo. People love taboo.
Hmm.
Not the game, but the whole idea of that something is off limits
Hmm.
and that something is prohibited.
Hmm.
They love it. So it's made him even more desired. And like, well, what is he up to? Because what is he up to? Because Victoria just asked if we still on. Like, fam, we just started at 4:30. We've never had a 30-minute podcast
Ever.
ever. Um, so I think like it makes him more desirable. It makes him kind of like a pariah of sorts
Mm,
because he's out there and people want to be able to reach out and touch and figure out what's going on with him
mm,
because he should be dead. I wonder if people are still looking for him. Why don't they like him so much? He ratted, he told,
mm.
but he's still out there and he's still out in the world living like this and that and the third. And
Yeah.
so if people want him to go away, they should stop talking about him. And that's how you do it. But again, 2 million people are
Click.
still going to say something.
Yeah. And to most,
Because here's the thing, right? 2 million people that entered that live, guaranteed 2 million of them weren't fans.
of course not.
They were in there to hate,
Of course not.
so
And even if you
I
look
don't
at
think
it,
anything happens. You know what I mean? I don't think anything happens.
And even if you look at it, because he got signed to his new deal while he was in prison. Um,
Right.
and if I'm a man, not there are not too many labels that actually care about artists, like personally. Um,
You could probably name them, and they
and
not
they're smaller.
they not yeah, they not major labels. It's
um,
TDE. It's
Dreamville,
Dreamville.
probably Griselda, um, Mass Appeal. Um, it's just
Maybe quality control.
quality, yeah, QC for sure. Um, yeah, it's not too many you
About
can
it.
look at and just be like, yo, they care about these artists like as like humans.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we're in business, but we gonna make sure you all right.
Right.
Um, so yeah, like I think signed them to a ridiculous deal, so they're seeing checks. I want my money back.
Right.
Um, I don't know what kind of crazy advance. It was allegedly 10 million that he got. So care or not, I'm looking at that 2 mil in the live and I'm like, all right, let me do some industry math here. Let's say out of that 2 mil, maybe 10% of them actually care and are actually gonna spend money. You multiply that by a little $10 album, maybe plus streamed on top of that. Like I'm like, bet that's that's good money. That's a good return on investment for one album or one song or like so.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure there's nothing that is nobody on the team that is like deterring him from getting on live or taking pictures or like somebody had to okay that music video with him with the rat head on him and all that stuff. Like it's just like yeah, like they don't care.
Yeah.
Um, and at the end of the day, like he's a father. Um,
Yeah. Yes.
he's somebody's son. Um, and yeah, I definitely don't think or wish any harm is gonna come to him actually, but I don't and maybe he knows that at some point people aren't gonna care. Maybe he knows. And he's just like, well, until then, I'm gonna milk this. Um, because technically I probably shouldn't be alive for all the stuff I done got myself into. So as long as I'm here, I'm going to milk this and also try and explain myself to people. Because like you said, not everybody. There are people that abide by laws outside of our quote unquote legal system. Because
Yeah.
even that is up for debate on whether the system is actually legal or not. But so yeah, man, I just thought that was interesting. I thought that I don't know. I've never seen anybody get like hop on anything and justify why they told, especially around that culture. Never.
And it made complete sense to me.
Oh no. And that's the thing. If
If you don't live that life,
you don't live that life.
if you're not constantly around those type of people, chances are you're not around those people constantly because you do have a diff. I won't say higher.
Hmm. A
I won't
different.
say higher. You have a different way of thinking. You won't understand why. You know what I mean? Like I do understand to a degree. Like I understand why they're like, yo, if you were in that life, then you should have lived that life. You gotta do it. But like, fam, if someone is proving themselves to be disloyal in my life, that I can see why someone decides not to be loyal to someone else out
Yeah.
of fear for what would be to come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, for
It
sure.
makes sense to me. And everybody's like, nah, you gotta go down with the ship. I don't have to go down with the ship that is on its way, its trajectory is to my demise.
Hmm.
This whole ship was built to destroy me.
Hmm.
Why why not abandon ship? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I'm not caping for him at all. I'm
Yeah.
just saying I understand.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely
And I understand street code too.
Yeah,
So I understand why they're like, why was you snitching? But I'm like, fam, you got to get a whole backstory. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. It's it's definitely there are
Victorious.
definitely two sides to it for sure. Well, probably three even. Um, but man, I think you just gotta. I think one, even out of the, he wasn't like, I don't know how to. There, people are just like, he wasn't about that life.
No.
Um, he wasn't about that life,
Well, I
and
don't, but here's my thing, right? I don't think he wasn't about that life.
no, I'm saying to stay inside the code, to stay to
No, y'all didn't stay inside the code. That's the thing. Y'all broke code before I did.
yeah. Then I gotta handle it in cold ways.
Huh?
And then I gotta handle it in cold ways. That's a thought of the. That's what I'm saying. This is a thought of the.
No.
I'm inside this life. Like if I'm disrespected or dishonored, I gotta handle it myself. Like I don't get anybody else involved. So
I mean, I
that's
think that's
the
one way of going about it, but I no longer have the ability to uphold this code because everybody that I could have held this code with or would have backed me up for
yeah.
upholding this code is against me to begin with.
Complicated.
Like this is like a bad version of the Truman Show.
Yeah, very bad version. Shout out to Jim Carrey, underrated actor.
I don't think he's underrated.
I don't think he gets as much pride. I think people just see him as. I'm talking when it comes to drama.
Nah, what was that movie he did? 27 or something like that?
27, 27.
People started taking him very seriously. Here's the thing. Comedy is the hardest acting that you can do. And so you see so many comedians being able to cross over into that
Yeah,
dramatic arena because it's harder to do.
yeah,
People don't understand that.
yeah.
It's
Like
harder to make someone laugh.
um, it's even harder for like it's probably even harder to be in the midst of a joke and you know it's funny and you can't like you have to keep a
Break.
straight face. You can't
Yeah,
break. Like like that takes skill.
yeah,
Um, like to be in that character so deep that you're like, no, like my your comedy brand, like, oh, this is hilarious, and I can't laugh right now.
yeah. Especially if you have someone that is improvising and
Mm,
you know it's off script.
yeah.
And you try, you know what I mean? And then they start laughing and it's like, well, now I have to come up with something else. And
Hmm.
you really have to not laugh because if I don't do it right, you can tell when they did a take more than a couple times.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's hard to do sometimes. That's why I respect or really appreciate um, actors like Vince Vaughn and uh, and
Steve Carell for sure.
like because they would go off the cuff.
Hmm.
A lot
Yeah.
of their stuff is improvised.
Uh, Curb.
Wedding Crashers, I would say Wedding Crashers is maybe like half improvisation, the whole movie, which is why I love it.
I think most of the episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm, most of the script, they have an outline and they improv the rest. Um, and
I can see that.
that's just dope.
I can
Larry
see that.
David should be awarded something.
Speaking of Larry David, Jerry Seinfeld is still very funny.
You watch the special?
I started watching it.
Okay,
I would
I gotta
say
check it out.
the first 20 minutes that I watch is very funny. Very
Yeah, check it
reason like you can really relate, very relatable. Uh,
out. All right, I'm gonna check
it's
it out.
funny. I said, "Wow, Jerome, you're still funny out here." Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Seinfeld, I want this never to be forgotten. Jerry Seinfeld's name is Jerome.
I won't go by Jerome either.
Now, if you wait,
Not if you white and Jewish. Is he Jewish? No. Is he?
I
Is
don't
Seinfeld
know.
Jewish?
I don't know. We on the computer. Pull it up. Share your screen.
Nelly versus. All right.
You said Nelly versus. Is that what you try to go to next?
I'm trying to forget the songs. I forgot the songs.
No, you pulling find out if Jerry is Jewish. I think that's important to know. I don't know why, but it's good to have in the back of your brain. Seinfeld sounds Jewish.
It does.
Sounds Jewish.
Jerry Seinfeld's nationality.
All right, guys. So we're still
He
here. I
American.
don't know, but Lon, share the. Dang, you can't share your screen.
Hold on. Yeah,
Not afraid to
do.
share your screen.
No, I can't do that and keep talking and do this all at the same time.
Well, I'll talk.
Um.
You share your screen while you look for it, and then
Oh wait.
utilize what we doing here.
Oh wait. Desktop number 2. There we go.
Wow.
Wait, it didn't come through.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I thought we could find this faster.
I
He's
thought
been
so too.
married to the same person for over 20 years. That's
Oh
good.
yeah, he been holding his wife down. Shout out to
I
Jerry.
didn't think that this would take this long.
Me either.
We don't.
It
I
just
don't care
said
that
he's a
much.
yeah. He's just American.
When you white, you could just be American.
Man, that's right. Unless you
His father, Kalman Seinfeld, was of a Hungarian Jewish
Hungarian Jewish
descent
descent.
and collected jokes that he heard while serving in World War II.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's Jewish.
yeah, he's Jewish. Both parents were Jewish.
Immigrated from Aleppo, Syria. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
My
but
bad.
no, this I think the special is pretty funny from what I've seen, and I've only started. I only started it. Uh, so I can't wait to see what the next 40 minutes is like. Because it's only an hour, which is a good time for a comedy special.
It is. I didn't realize he was still. I know he was still doing little shows and stuff, but I never thought he would have dropped like another special. Like Netflix probably gave him a bag.
I think up until recently, well, I know up until recently, he was a richest comedian ever.
Hmm. Just off
Oh, net worth.
Seinfeld.
We looking at the net worth right now. He's almost a billionaire.
Yeah, yeah. I think he been rich for I think since the '90s.
50 million more dollars, and he's a billionaire.
Yeah, he might be there now because that's probably how much Netflix gave him.
Yeah, 90 in 2019, he was at 950 million.
And I heard all he does is he just buys cars. Like he just collects cars and stuff. Like he has garages, just old cars, like Porsches and stuff like that. He's a car guy.
Yeah. Do you think that comedians getting coffee, getting in cars, getting coffee, or whatever the show is called, um, do you think that's a niche type of show?
I think it is. It's very Jerry.
But a lot of people like it, and a lot of people. So I think it's niche, but it's also not niche. It's okay, so it's niche, but it's a broader type of niche.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because a lot of times it really depends on if you don't know that particular comedian or
right. You don't care,
you really don't care.
but if you love comedy, if you love comedy, I love comedy.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'll watch the Eddie Murphy one first. Yeah, I'll watch the Chris Rock one,
yeah,
and I'll watch the major ones first. But the smaller ones, I'll go back and watch them too, because it tries to put you in the mind of a comedian. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So
And some of the smaller ones are actually really good.
yeah, way better than the Jamie Foxx ones and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
The not that Tracy Morgan is smaller, but his was just like Tracy's Tracy. Oh, he is weird. Um,
absolutely.
but it was hilarious because he was asking like straight face questions that were like ridiculous. Um, but they're like for the most, I don't think he. I'm pretty sure he doesn't interview or have those conversations with anyone that's like not his friend. So, um, yeah, I particularly enjoy it.
Yeah, I do too. Okay,
Um,
you can take us off of
yeah,
this.
I'm
You
about to
can
stop
unshare the
it.
screen.
Um, yeah. So And I think that coffee, I'm not sure if that coffee shop is one of his companies or something like that. The coffee shops he always goes to. I think it's a particular brand, and I think he always does it in L.A. Well, or New York. I don't know.
You'd be foolish to think that Jerry Seinfeld doesn't own a coffee shop
Yeah,
somewhere somehow.
and he's plugging it on his show, which you should do. But keep it in house. Um,
I will never understand people getting mad at good businessmen for being good businessmen.
I think in certain scenarios, like the reality of man, y'all hate us because y'all ain't us. Like sometimes that's just true. Like why you like? There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong with this. This
like
is just good business.
if you were in this position, you'd have to do the same thing.
Yeah,
You just mad that this doesn't benefit you in
yeah.
this moment.
Like you just being extra. What you mean, bro?
Oh, I got kids and a family to take care of and
Yeah.
a legacy to, upkeep.
And people be forgetting like people have employees. Like I don't
That
just
too.
wake up and do this by myself. Like yeah,
That's
like,
true.
there's a camera guy, there's an assistant, there's a runner, there's somebody that has to edit this, there's somebody that's like doing the audio. Like, come on, bro. Like, I think people just see the faces and then they evaluate it off that. And I'm like, yeah, yo, this 30 minutes took 100 people.
Yeah.
Like, for real, for real. And they all, you might have had 10, maybe 15 interns, but everybody else had to get paid. Um, so yeah, I
Yep.
never, I never, yeah, I never understood that, especially with and maybe it's because we know, like with artists doing shows and stuff like that, and them getting paid like hundreds of thousands of dollars and all that stuff. It's just like, yeah, bro, but there's a tour manager, there's a road manager, there's an actual manager, there's an agency that books me. Like, I might have a DJ, like I might have a hype man. Like, I still got to get here. Like, it's just
A
and
lot that goes in.
if I sell merch, sometimes the shows or the promoters taking a percentage of my merch money. Like it's just
People don't understand
like
the cost, but I get it. But that's the thing, right? You got to make all that stuff make sense to the consumer.
yeah,
You know what I mean? You have to make the cost make sense to the consumer.
yeah,
That's the battle, right? So yes, it's not their job to make sense of why it costs so much. You have to make sense for why it makes sense to them. And
hmm
that's what it is. And that's the
and
struggle.
we typically don't got time for that. So um,
Y'all weigh the cost.
yeah. All right. Speaking of performances and these artists, at Saturday 7 p.m. Eastern this past Saturday, uh, Ludacris, aka Chris Bridges, um, Nelly, aka Nelly,
Let's talk
um,
about it.
had their much anticipated versus battle.
Yep.
I think definitely one of the more. I think it was one of the battles that were like, you know what, this makes sense. Um, in terms of just like the period of time they were active and just all that stuff together,
Let's
at least.
okay, talk about it. And then I want to pose a question.
Yeah. So,
Talk about why this makes sense.
I think it makes sense because at the they were out. This is early 2000s, early to mid 2000, like around the same time. Um, Probably on the charts together.
They both
For
came out in
sure.
2000.
Yeah. So this is one of the battles that were like they both came out in 2000 and were immensely successful off the bat. Um,
Yep.
like a lot of people have first album success and then are unable to necessarily follow it up. And I think for both of them, their first two albums like built on top of what they did on their well, the second album built on top of what they did on their first project. And these were Billboard, their singles were hits. Like when people were actually buying CDs and stuff back, like they had,
So
I'm pretty sure I know is it Country Grammar or Nellyville? I think Country Grammar might went diamond at the time, which is, you know,
Nellyville.
Nellyville went diamond.
Nellyville went diamond.
Um
Hello,
so
person. just hopping on. Oh, and then she got the nerve to wear the working woman shirt.
Just to let us know.
Excuse me, sir. I was working. Glad you're working. It's good.
Victoria is with us. Is
Yes,
she?
Victoria's here.
Technical
She might have
difficulties.
froze.
Mm,
Uh,
praise God.
I don't know. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, this battle made sense. Like, I think they both had enough of a catalog for it to be okay, I'll watch this.
We gonna fight.
It was enough of a catalog for me to watch this. And I still didn't watch it. But
We gonna fight on.
it was enough for it was enough for a perceived battle to happen. And I mean, we've said it on here multiple times. Like, everyone doesn't need 20 songs. Um, and off the bat, I will say this would have been solid at 10. Um, but yeah. Yeah. So I think Keith is our resident battle connoisseur.
Am I?
I feel like you are.
I am.
I feel like you are.
I
I
am.
feel
I
like
ain't gonna lie.
you're.
I'm very invested in these for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
Yeah.
I love music. I
Yeah.
love music. I love music. And I especially love music from that era, from that time.
Yeah.
Growing up, I love music from that time. So from about 98 to 2007, that is my bag because I literally understood. Maybe 2010
I
because
give you 2010.
yeah, because I was still at Clark at that time. Like, yeah, I'm like, I was in it, whether I
Mhm.
wanted to be or not. Um, but I said I wanted to pose a question. I don't even think Victoria can hear it. I mean, I don't think we can hear her at least.
Are you here, Victoria? No? No?
She blinking and stuff.
She is. What's going on?
I don't know. Maybe she just wanted to watch.
uh,
But the thing is, um, the thing is, the question I had for you was better matchups instead of Nelly because there's definitely better matchups.
I think. Whew, who could have battled Ludacris?
Busta Rhymes could have battled Ludacris.
That would have been solid.
That's a way better. And I spoke to somebody. They posed a question. What would have been? And I said Busta Rhymes, Ludacris, and they was like, "Nah, I think Busta Rhymes is in a different class." I'm like, as far as like the time in which he came out, he's in a different class. But if we're talking about energy, we're talking
Energy,
about
longevity,
song type,
hits,
longevity, and the amount of hits that you have and features
features. Whew.
is Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, bust over that. We put on that.
Like, I'm not gonna say Ludacris is like, because Ludacris does kind of cheat when like he like fast raps or whatever. Is
Yeah,
nowhere near the caliber of Busta Rhymes, but
yeah.
he
You're not
can
winning
do
that.
it to a degree.
Hmm.
But like he got it. You know what I mean? As far as like the complexity and lyrics and stuff like that, he got it, and they're versatile enough.
Hmm. Absolutely. And I think
That would have made more sense. I mean, I'm not gonna say that the Nelly Ludacris battle, it wasn't absurd. It made you excited,
mhm.
but it wasn't absurd.
I think I think especially more so because people are they're on the back burner musically right now. So it's like almost that's 20 years ago. So you don't remember, until a
A
song
lot of,
comes on and you're like, yo, and you're
but
like, oh yeah.
that's my gripe. That's my gripe with this whole battle thing and people being able to weigh in. I
Yeah.
can't. But this is just heightened my this just heightened my dislike for people.
Mm.
Like I really don't. Like it's just like in my dislike for people because like people weigh in and they talk about stuff that they literally have no clue about, and you can't stop it because like this is America.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? But like I'm like you should not have an opinion on everything. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's fair.
When your opinion isn't based on anything. Well, I just like this song more. Okay.
Yeah.
So you do your own little bracket. You do your own little checkpoint and your own little check off all the boxes on the songs that you like better.
Yeah,
Because that's not what this is.
get back to us when you're done.
My thing is, yes, my thing is I'm going off of like it's a sequencing battle. It's a sequencing battle. I,
Honestly,
s-
if we're
I
really, this
saw
is a DJ battle. Honestly, like, like it comes down to
no,
how you could. No, I said that this way because like, even if my songs aren't, they might not be hotter, but if I've heard a DJ play not so hot songs in a proper order and killed when somebody was just playing hot songs for the sake of playing hot songs.
no. It's literally we not asking you to play. But that's the thing, Lon. We not asking people to play songs that would fit well in a DJ set.
I
That's
know,
not
but
what
that's
we
what some
asked
of
you.
them need to do.
No, play your they only hitting up people that got major influence thus far.
I mean, well, yeah,
Play your hit songs. Period. Play those songs. That's what we want to hear.
yeah.
So now, so Ludacris literally had 30 hits that he could have played from. And like upon further review, it made for a better matchup with Nelly because Nelly played some songs that I forgot about. I
Mm-hmm,
said, oh snap, he did have that.
mm-hmm.
Oh snap. I never knew My Place reached number 4 on the charts.
Coming up my
That's
place.
not a good song to me. But it reached number 4. And because it reached number 4, and so here's my thing, right? So everybody, like I saw, shout out to Kevin Hall, but I'm gonna come at Kevin Hall real quick.
Oh.
Um, Kevin Hall, he scored it 18-3.
For Luda?
Yes.
That's biased.
So I'm like, no, it's very biased. So I'm like,
That's
if you're
biased.
doing, if that's what you're doing, these are the songs that I like. Please make that known
Yeah.
because
Mm,
the songs that you like eight scoring at 18-3 are not the songs like that beat out. Like that's not the list. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. Like, and it's hard. Like I was talking to David Purdue, and David is like, "Yo, they not battling like that." So I'm like, "Okay, stop calling it a versus then,
I mean,
and
I
then
can't.
stop calling it a battle. Stop calling it those things because if I'm hearing those things, I'm inclined to think these are the things that should be taking place, and it's not. So you got people being chummy with one another. I'm like, yeah, be chummy, cool, because y'all don't want any smoke at the end of it. Cool,
Yeah.
be chummy. But when it comes to the music selection, don't play. Well, you played that, so I'm gonna play that. So, oh, you played a song that was not a hit at all. You played a song that was on the B side of your album, so let me play one of those too. No, I got 20 hits to give you, and I don't got time to waste. I know that if you play Yeah, I'm gonna play Dilemma. I know that if you play this song, I'm gonna play that song. You know what I mean? To get you out of here.
Yeah. But you know, it's not.
And go ahead.
You know, hip hop is not like the competition base of hip hop. It's just changed. You know, like it's not. I don't know. I think people are
I'm
so
disinterested.
averse. They're so averse to because of some of the stuff that has transpired in hip hop and in music that have led to like
People, if y'all are about to kill each other
that's what I'm
over
saying.
over the hit songs that y'all do and do not have,
Nobody wants to like
I'm
nobody
not
wants to
saying, but
raise
that's the
that.
thing. That's the
Yeah.
thing. People they hear battle and they think, well, I have to disrespect this man. No,
Hmm.
again,
Yeah.
I said it. I said it before. I'll say it again. Neo and Jonte Austin had the best verses.
Yeah.
They they played their music. They bigged each other up. Jonte was drinking wine. He was a little spicy with some of the things that he was saying. Neo was a little bit more spicy. Neo had a hype man in the back. Jonte had a hype man in the back. That was, you know what I mean? It was cool. It was like, yo, I thought about you. Like you was applying pressure during this time. So I gotta hit you with this. It's like,
Yeah.
you killed me with that. So now I gotta bring you this song. It wasn't none of that
Mhm.
foolishness. Like, well, we don't want to fight. That's whack. That's whack.
You so Jersey.
I could play my own songs. I could play my songs, bro. I
Yeah.
could play y'all songs any time of the day. I want to hear the songs that y'all will put up against these other songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go for the gusto.
Yeah.
Cause once this quarantine thing is over, we not coming back to this. You think I'm wasting my Friday or Saturday sitting down, can't wait to hear who gonna be on IG live when I could be
Go and I
outside
could go
or do
outside.
whatever.
they're gonna
Now is
have
the
to
only
they're gonna
it's
have
the
to figure
only
it out.
time for this.
They're gonna have to figure because I know they've done them in the past prior to it was mostly producers,
And guess who
but
knew about it? Guess who was
only,
sitting home watching it?
only real music fans. The general public wasn't
And I
like,
didn't know about it.
yeah,
Cause I
I
would have
knew
been
about it.
in there.
Yeah.
I remember the first one with Swiss Beats and Timbaland, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'm not even watching it because they weren't even battling like beats that they had already produced. It
Mm-hmm.
was like, here's some new stuff that we made. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, and of course y'all still not about to be releasing the real fire stuff
Yeah, and the other one
because you trying to sell those.
was Just Blaze and I think Just Blaze and Swiss or Just Blaze and Timberland maybe it went at it. And same thing you said, like just played some unreleased stuff. Um,
We don't,
you know,
I don't want to hear. Listen, let's get into this battle, please, because I have gripes and I have a list of things.
you go, you can go ahead, bro.
Where's Victoria? What is she talking about?
She right here, Victoria.
Yeah.
Turn the gain up on your mic. I don't want to have to adjust it in post.
Okay.
Even though I find out how to split all the audios now, it wouldn't be that hard. But I don't want to.
Did you really?
Is
Feel
this
it?
better?
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yo,
Okay,
Zoom ain't
great.
playing, bro. Yeah, you can split all the channels into separate channels now. So I'm like,
Oh wow. I thought that was impossible.
yeah.
But
Yo,
that's good.
how did Skype fumble its bag, yo?
They got bought by Microsoft.
Like, how does?
And then you could never log into your account again without it being like trying to get into a freaking labyrinth
I love
to access
Labyrinth.
your account. It was very difficult. I literally I had to stop using Skype because I could no longer access my account after they were purchased by Microsoft because it was so
Wow,
difficult and I gave up.
wow. I mean, I appreciate the security, but don't overdo it.
Don't do that.
My Skype got hacked, so I get it. It's like, why are you sending me this? I'm like, I'm not
Right,
sending you anything.
bro. I ain't logged in 3 years.
Right. I get it.
Don't accept that. Um, what am I doing? What am I doing? Oh yeah, this battle.
Battle versus
So yeah,
No,
Victoria, any thoughts on the battle before we get into?
It was boring.
Okay, okay,
flat out.
okay.
That's all. It was real boring. I don't know if it was boring. I don't know if it was actually boring or if I'm just tired of these.
But there's
So
nothing else to do. We don't know.
exactly, like there's nothing else to do. So I was just like, well, what else I'm gonna do while cooking on Saturday? Like I'm just watch this because
Play my own music.
sure.
I'll tell you that
That's
Jill
fine.
Scott, Jill Scott, Erica Badu. I was bored.
You gotta get back to that
I
Lauryn
kn-
Hill comment. Somebody was saying she can't battle nobody because she don't got enough hits.
She don't have 20.
Oh, yeah. No.
Do we have to have a conversation about where Lauren is in the hierarchy of female MCs? Did she give us enough?
Yes.
Okay.
Enough to have that conversation legitimately.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
just asking. It made me
So it
think.
was born Victoria. What else?
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt like a very kumbaya. Like we're here, like I'm a patch. Like I was like, can y'all please stop patting each other on the back? We get it. You don't hate each other. Also, Nelly with his daggone monologues before every song. I was like, can you please just get to the music? That's what we're here for. Also, I'm really tired of these celebrities having trash Wi-Fi or too many people on their Wi-Fi. Please step your game up if you're gonna participate. Um
Ain't
and
nobody touring right now. Wi-Fi is expensive. I had to knock my Wi-Fi down a couple tabs.
I mean, Gabrielle Union did say that a lot of these celebrities are 1 to 2 paychecks away from not being able to afford all their stuff, apparently. So
Yeah.
there's that. But yeah, I was just like, this is okay. I could have lived. It wasn't necessary.
We can't all be married to Dwayne Wade.
I was like,
Gabby.
Like she not
Gabby.
1 or 2. Like she ain't been like
You 1 or 2 husbands away from not having
right.
one.
You wish you was Mary Jane. Forget about being it. You wish you were.
Oh my goodness.
but yeah, overall, not. I don't know. It's like whatever.
Yeah.
It is
So-
what it
I
is.
forgot what I was doing, but I ended up not watching it.
You didn't watch it.
Yeah, I
All right.
didn't.
Well, Swiss Beats and Timberland said that they send them kits.
Ah,
They send them
that's nice of them.
versus no.
Send them kids. Or
They,
what?
they send them versus kits.
What's in the kit?
Apparently some Wi-Fi stuff for your Wi-Fi to be working. So he was like, y'all could tell. He was like, y'all could tell when they use the kits and when they don't. I made the comment in one of the group chats that was texting me that day that Ludacris's his live looked like it was in 60 frames per second.
Oh,
It looked very clear and like you could see all the movements and stuff like
use a
that.
kit.
So and they said Ludacris used the kit. Nelly didn't use the kit. You can tell who's using the kit and who's not.
Over here glitching, disappearing,
Does it speak?
trying to blame it on the weather. I was like, child,
My friend said that Atlanta is 4-0 with the Wi-Fi.
with the Wi-Fi. Shout out
I
to
said that.
Comcast.
At least we have that going for us.
Yep, they said they undefeated. Like 4 Atlanta artists, they undefeated. Everybody else Wi-Fi been jacking up.
We follow directions.
You know why y'all Wi-Fi work? Because everybody outside.
Yep. You right. You're absolutely ain't nobody clogging them. No radio, whatever waves you on.
Yep, they had JR
It's clear.
Crickets.
Clear. Yep.
J-
Line out the door.
Hey, JR Crickets. Not worried about no Wi-Fi.
Trying to get a 10-piece lemon pepper hot.
Right.
Lemon pepper is overrated, yo. I don't get it.
And Victoria,
let's
you don't
move
even
on.
eat meat.
I eat wings.
Lemon pepper cauliflower.
What you eat? Presbyterian wings.
Why are y'all like this? My friends called me a Presbyterian.
It
They
was that
said
funny,
Victoria's Episcopalian because she don't eat
Yeah.
meat. I said, y'all
Right.
rude.
Pentecostal.
Pentecostal.
Okay, so
yeah,
you
go
didn't
ahead.
watch.
Everybody's born back.
You didn't watch it. I doubt Victoria watched the whole thing because she don't be caring about nothing.
I actually did. No, so I started watching. I got on right when it started. But then Nelly was having all these issues. He logged off. Ludacris was just sitting there in his studio by himself talking about, well, I don't know what to do. All these people here. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know what to do. I was just like, you know what I don't have time for? This nonsense again.
You know what happened? Word is bond. That is what happened. They was jacking up. Their Wi-Fi was jacking up that day.
And I was like, I gotta go. I was like, I'm not wasting another night.
Keep talking. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
No, we only having this conversation for you because you weren't here
No,
to
I'm
see it.
not going nowhere. I gotta like put the lights on and all that stuff. I'm not saying I'm about
Okay.
to leave.
Oh, you gotta put the lights on. Oh.
Because it's
All of a
storming.
sudden,
It's storming. The sun not out no more.
it's
Um,
not. I had to turn my lights on too.
Lon's not gonna tell you this because he already told you to turn it up, but turn your game down a little bit.
Oh,
All right.
Just a little bit. Just a
is
little
this
bit.
better?
That's much better. Yeah.
Okay.
They did. They was jacking. The internet was jacking up. You right.
So I got annoyed and I was just like, I'm gonna listen to my own playlist. And then I was on Instagram and everybody started posting about it again. And I was like, okay, I ain't got nothing else to do. So
Right.
here we are. And I was bored.
I was waiting for it all day because I knew we had a podcast to do, but I'm also I grew up a Ludacris fan, and for a long time Ludacris was my favorite rapper because I heard Free say one day, Free from 106 in Park, showing my age, but
Art? Okay.
yes, at this point we're showing our age if we
Oh,
talk
okay.
about Free
Free
Free.
106 in Park.
instead of Roxy and Terrence.
First of all, never mind. That's a whole other conversation. Continue.
Is it?
Well, just
Roxy beef?
particularly Ross, however you say her name, Diaz, Rossi Diaz.
Okay.
Did y'all ever see in which battle was it?
Did you turn your game back up or something?
No, I didn't.
She's passionate about Roxy Diaz, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
Hold on.
She's like Roxy, her ass.
Is this better?
I don't know. We say yes before, but
Y'all did. Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep talking. No, but did y'all not see how on that one there was one battle where she was in the comments talking about my Shazam is on fire, and I was like, Rock, you literally work.
you still mad about that?
You
You
literally
still
work
mad about that?
because she is not. She wasn't qualified. She just showed herself. That's all it was.
She did. She
She
did.
was like,
I'm Shazamming all these songs.
but okay.
Like, yes, you did work on 106 in Park where you should have known this. No, she only had to know the top 10, Victoria. You can't be mad at her.
This is true. Bare minimum. Okay, that's what she did.
I had to know all the songs. I just had to know the top 10. I just had to know these Bow Wow songs, and we were straight.
Basically.
Okay, I'm done.
Yes, so their Wi-Fi well, not their Wi-Fi, but Nelly's Wi-Fi couldn't it was doing a lot or not enough at the same time. And it did something that I had never seen done on it was like this glossy type of blurry type of effect that it was giving or whatever. But we were starting to think that it wouldn't go down because apparently it was raining really bad in St. Louis or whatever, but they got it to clear up, or it cleared up, and God saw fit for us to continue this battle. Why is that funny?
Because miraculously it got better.
Yeah, the Lord,
Now he was struggling.
the Lord was like, y'all ain't all right, y'all ain't doing nothing else. I do got the corona out there doing whatever it's doing. Might as well.
Let me give y'all this.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna say God started the coronavirus. He didn't, but he's almighty and he's sovereign, so he's allowing it to do whatever it's doing right now.
For his greater purpose.
So yeah, so we gotta say that. But let's look at who you had winning it. I'll ask you that. Who you got winning it?
Me?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, sorry, I realized Lon is not there. Luda.
You had him winning, or you wait? Who'd you have winning it to start?
Ludacris.
Okay.
Like I went in and I was like, Ludacris has this.
Okay. Lon, who'd you have winning it?
Ludacris.
So why do y'all say Ludacris?
It's Nelly don't got 20 songs to
Yes, he do. Though.
No, I'm talking about in terms of caliber. Like, I'm not saying he doesn't have 20 songs, but I'm saying the amount of songs that Ludacris, including features, I feel like it would have been a better battle at 10. or 12. I just feel like I don't know.
Why am I doing 12 when I have 30 legitimate hits?
Make it tighter competition. You gotta choose wisely.
Fam, this battle was much closer than what people were giving it credit for.
Yeah. Oh, Nelly didn't get washed. Don't get me wrong. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't. It wasn't like
Again,
Yeah.
Kevin had him losing 18-3.
That's a little
Nah.
aggressive.
Hey, it was.
It wasn't that
And
bad.
Probably
It was
like
boring.
they did a poll and it was like, who y'all think won? And it was like the mass majority, and like Nelly got like 12%. So I think it was like 88 to 12, 88% to 12% or something. Like, I'm like, y'all, why y'all moving like this on that? Now I understand why people were so upset about the Nelly slander.
yeah.
So I was talking to Lon's. I text Aaron, Lon's wife,
Mhm.
and Aaron's best friend Brittany. I text them both because we both, like, the three of us separately had different conversations about it. I text them and I was like, yeah. I said at the end of it, I was like, I don't know. I feel like Nelly won this.
Really?
And then I was like, but I gotta go back and I gotta look at it.
Mhm.
I went back and I did my first over. So what I do is, like, I look at them. I'm like, okay, like I make sure I got all the songs. I'm like, okay, these are all 20 songs, and I think they did 21. So
Mhm.
let's do a tiebreaker if they did 21, which they did, right? Um, I said, okay. I said, okay. I feel like Nelly won because he started making a major comeback towards the back end,
Mhm.
right? I was like, okay. I just looked it over. I got it tied. It was tied 10-10. And I was like, okay, that's fair. And then I was like, let me look at it again. And I'm like, okay, I think Ludacris got it 11-9.
I was saying like 12-8.
All right, let's do this. Welcome to Atlanta. So they started off like this. Welcome to Atlanta versus Nah 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 Nah.
It's welcome to Atlanta.
Nah, 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 nah.
That was it. It was like nah 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 nah. Can we leave her? Can we leave her? Can we leave her? Can we leave her? Shorty, can we leave her? You remember that, Victoria? Victoria,
I
remember?
do. I was like, come on.
Can
Oh,
girl?
wow.
Can we leave?
That's what I'm
Damn.
saying. Apparently, she was like nah 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 nah.
She was not giving consent.
Right. Well, we cannot leave here. Say
No, we cannot.
no, we cannot. No,
That was hilarious.
no, but okay. So right. So I'm thinking, why would you? I was like, why would you? Wait, so Ludacris went first, and I was like, oh snap, I forgot about that song. Like, that was the first song that he played,
It was
and
good.
I
It's a good
said,
jam.
dang, he still got everything else left. But at the end of the day, what do you get at
Yeah.
to? You give it to Welcome to Atlanta
Yeah.
or
Welcome to Atlanta.
Welcome
Welcome
to
to
Atlanta?
Atlanta.
Yeah, you got to. So Ludacris won, right? Um, then you got okay. Now this second round, and I'm so surprised at how quickly they pulled this out the bag. And for
I thought this would have been last 10, last 5.
what, the second song?
Yeah.
Oh, are you looking at a list?
I'm looking at the list.
Oh, okay, dope. So yeah, it should have been like on the back end.
I'm like, the kid's still in here.
Yes, it's still very early. It is only
It's
only
7:15.
8 o'clock. Yeah, it's only about 8 o'clock because they started like an hour late.
Yeah.
Um, P popping
Mm-hmm.
versus Tip Drill.
Yeah. Yeah, tip drill.
Now I know that we're believers.
I don't
We
know these songs.
we were around when
We
they
were
were out.
definitely around and we were awake. I'll say that.
Yes.
I was awake, and sometimes you be. This was the only reason for which you were awake.
Oh Lord, we got
Both of these videos.
10 more minutes before they cut this out. And then I gotta resend the call.
Okay,
Yeah,
so okay, that's fine.
just letting you know.
I see it. I'm actually able to see it for
Oh, you
whatever
seen it?
reason.
Okay,
Same.
good.
So you got P Poppin versus Tip Drill. These are two very big staples in the BET and I'll say it like this, in BET's
Uncut.
no, I didn't want to say that.
No.
Did you know that BET Uncut was BET's highest rated show?
Yeah.
Are we surprised?
I was when they
There's
said that.
nothing else. I mean, other
What
than
else
what?
would have been right? Listen.
106 in Park.
106 in Park and what?
I mean,
Rhapsody the Basement.
Or even Comedy Central or Comic View.
Yeah, Comic View wasn't. I
Are
remember when
you kidding me?
they tried to
Comic View
rebrand.
on BET.
No, when they tried to like
Coming at you
rebrand
6
it,
nights a week.
it
Get your
stopped
laugh
being
on.
it stopped
Hey,
being good
where
after a
you
while.
want to get
After
your
a
laugh
while,
on? Get your laugh on, baby. Are you kidding me?
yo, BET
Bop.
fumbled a lot of bags, man.
So many bags.
They were
They
like,
could have
once
been
they got a
great.
hold of that baby boy sync, they were like, oh, we got it now.
I hate that movie.
Rotation.
Hate that movie.
Ronaldo Ray.
Oh man. R.I.P. Rest in peace there, man.
So, all right, I'm glad we ladled through that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Good.
Anyway.
That was a tough one. Okay, so P Poppin versus Tip Drill.
Oh, Tip Drill.
Tip Drill.
Exactly, right? You got so that's 1-1 Nelly Ludacris, right?
Yeah.
Okay, My Chick Bad versus Pimp Juice.
Pimp
Pimp
Juice.
Juice.
Nelly takes a 2-1 lead. And everybody was like, he was down early. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Pimp Juice was a whole vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even like using that word, but it was a vibe.
If I'm honest, I feel like Ludacris's features saved this battle for him.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Sadly.
That's what I
We'll
think.
see. We'll see. But I don't, and that's the other conversation I want to have because cats are like, well, you can't use your features. I'm on the song more than you are.
In some of those songs, I made him the song because I was on
Right. It's
Let's
his
be
song.
honest. They were waiting for my verse.
I think yeah, it's just as much Ludacris's song as much as it is anybody else's on that record.
I mean, be honest. Other than the hook, nobody really remembers Usher's like his verse, like, but they
In the
remember
club with my homies.
Homies.
specific part
With
of
the
Ludacris.
homies.
So give me the rhythm of the beat off with the club. Everybody remembers that.
Like that, yeah.
Bend over to
Ludacris's
the front.
verse made that
Touch your
song.
toes. Come on, man.
Wow, I
So,
can't wait to be outside again.
She a lady in the freak. She a lady in the sheets, but a freak in the bed. All right. So Nelly's up 2-1 right now.
Mm-hmm.
This I did not understand. But after I looked at the Billboard numbers, I saw that it did make more sense. I never knew that Ho was a single. Victoria was in Atlanta at this time.
Yeah.
Was that a single?
It was. Listen,
I don't
I'm looking
recall it.
confused because I'm like, what? It was a single?
Right.
Would
Apparently,
have
because
never known it.
it was on the charts, right? So I was about to get at one definitely to Ludacris. I mean to Nelly, because Nelly came with "Flap Your Wings."
Which,
Drop down and get jelly on, girl.
hey,
Look at it. See.
I feel like Nelly won that, bro. Honestly.
Okay, so we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to that, right? We're gonna come back to that. We're gonna make an official thank God for the group chat list. For real.
I feel like that was a Single? Hold on.
So, yeah, go ahead and look it up. Because it was on the Billboard charts. I was very much so surprised. Because I was making a list. I was like, I ain't about to look that up. And the Lord was like, go ahead and look it up. I said, yes, Lord. I'm gonna look up Ho real quick. Thank you, Father. Look up Ho on the Billboard chart. He was like, because you want to be accurate on this podcast, amen. I said, yes, Lord.
Amen. Why are we like this?
Amen.
Amen.
All right, so y'all giving that one to Nelly.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Victoria, what you find?
I'm very confused as to. I'm like, did I miss something? Was I asleep?
Yes, this happened. Lon, am I accurate on the listing right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
We
All right, we'll come back to it.
can come back. Sorry.
All right. So then Ludacris plays Saturday. And then Nelly follows up with Ride With Me.
Nelly.
Oh, I love Ride With Me.
Listen, Ride With Me was the first time I ever literally watched a crossover hit.
That song will Ride With Me would still ring off right now.
Yes.
Anywhere.
It will still ring off.
Anywhere. You play Ride With Me in you could play Ride With Me at a Ku Klux Klan rally and they'd be none the wiser.
Crossover appeal.
Crossover appeal.
It's like a trash joke right now, but I'm not gonna say it because
I had one too just then.
yeah.
I was like, no,
Yeah,
some
not
things,
right
yeah.
Something.
Text it.
Send it to the actual group chat.
Right.
We want to laugh offline.
We'll vet it. See if it's
I'm not saying
airplay.
I'm not even gonna tell. I'll tell you when the podcast is done. I'll tell y'all.
All right. Sorry, guys.
I don't want to risk it even getting out in there.
Sorry, guys.
Thank
We
you.
become all things to all men so that we might save some.
Hey, praise God.
Amen. So Saturday versus Ride With Me.
Ride With Me.
Okay, so y'all giving that to Nelly. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Nelly is up, according to us. Nelly is already up. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's up 4-1.
Yeah.
And I say us as a whole because we're gonna come back to round 4. Okay. What's your fantasy versus country grammar?
Country grammar. Is that what it was?
Hot-ish.
Going down, baby. Lady.
That was a tough
That's
round.
hard.
That was a tough round.
They came out around the same time.
They did.
Same year. They both went off something crazy.
All right. I'm gonna have to. We'll be right back after these messages.
Oh wow, you gonna leave them in suspense like that? Hey man, drop this episode at 12 a.m. please, sir.
Tonight, man, you give me work to do. All right, Victoria, make sure you send that description.
No, I'm not. Yeah, send the description at 12.
I got y'all. I'm gonna send it before 12, but okay, I got you.
Yes, please. Yes.
We'll be right back.
All right, see y'all in a second. Give people the impression that we have. I'm the sponsor. We are the sponsors. Stop doing it.
All right.